You have been fed the exact same financial lie since the day you were born. Renting is throwing your money away. When you buy, you're building your own wealth. When you rent, you're paying your landlord's mortgage. Real estate is the safest investment on earth. This single piece of outdated advice is the primary reason millions of hard-working, high-earning professionals end up house rich but cash poor. They spend their peak earning years locked in golden handcuffs, slave to a 30-year mortgage they can barely afford, all for the illusion of stability. Today, we are exposing the real, uncensored mathematics that the real estate lobby, mortgage brokers, and even your parents have completely ignored. We are pitting two classic life choices head-to-head in a ruthless 15-year financial cage match. First, meet buyer Bill. Bill wants the American dream. He takes $100,000 of hard-earned cash as a down payment and purchases a beautiful $500,000 suburban home. He's convinced he's just secured his retirement. Next door, meet renter Rick. Rick rents an identical home for $2,000 a month. Instead of buying, Rick takes his $100,000 liquid cash and immediately dumps it straight into a low-cost, diversified S&P 500 index fund. Traditional personal finance gurus will tell you that Bill wins this battle in a landslide. They'll tell you that in 15 years, Rick will have nothing but folders full of rent receipts, while Bill will have a mountain of equity. But those gurus are using third-grade math. They are completely ignoring what smart investors call the unrecoverable costs of ownership. Over the next 12 minutes, we are going to run the actual calculations to prove how under real market conditions, one of these men ends up with over $1 million in liquid, accessible wealth, while the other is left with less than half of that locked away in drywall and concrete. Let's look at the real math. Bill put 20% down, leaving him with a $400,000 mortgage from the bank. At a standard 6.5% interest rate, a standard real estate calculator tells Bill his monthly principal and interest payment is $2,528. Bill smiles. He thinks, great, every single month I'm depositing $2,528 into my personal real estate piggy bank. But Bill has just walked straight into the bank's most profitable trap, the amortization schedule. In month 1 of Bill's mortgage, he writes a check for $2,528. But out of that money, only $361 actually reduces his loan balance. The other $2,167 is pure interest. It is interest paid directly to the bank. It is completely unrecoverable. It is gone forever. Let's zoom out and look at the first 5 years. Over 60 months, Bill writes checks to his bank totaling $151,680. How much did his actual home debt go down? Just $24,000. The other $127,680 was pure friction paid directly to a banking institution so Bill could say he owns his home. If renting is throwing your money away, what do you call handing a bank $127,000 of pure interest in 60 months? In those first 5 years, Bill didn't just throw away money on interest, he threw away more money on pure bank friction than renter Rick did on his entire housing cost. And we haven't even touched the real carrying costs yet. When you rent, your rent is the absolute maximum amount of money you can lose on housing that month. When you buy, your mortgage is the absolute minimum you will pay. To maintain his asset, Bill is forced to face the 3 silent wealth killers of homeownership. First, property taxes. At a modest national average of 1.5%, Bill owes $7,500 a year to his local government. This tax never stops. It offers zero return on investment, and it increases nearly every single year. That's $625 a month gone. Second, maintenance and repairs. A house is a decaying asset. Roofs rot, HVAC units fail, and pipes leak. The baseline financial rule of thumb is 1% of the home value per year for maintenance. For Bill, that is $5,000 a year or $416 a month on average. Third, insurance. To protect his $500,000 structure, Bill must pay $2,500 a year, or $208 a month. When Bill calculates his real out-of-pocket monthly housing cost, it isn't $2,528. It is $3,777 every single month. And here is the devastating kicker. Out of that $3,777 total outlay, $3,416 is completely unrecoverable. Only $361 goes toward building his actual equity. The rest is pure carrying cost friction. Bill is throwing away nearly 10 times more cash every month than he is actually saving in home equity. Now, let's look at renter Rick's side of the equation. The neighborhood real estate agent looked at Rick and said, "You're throwing away $2,000 a month on rent. You're making your landlord rich." But Rick understands opportunity cost, the core financial principle that separates the middle class from the ultra-wealthy. Because Rick rented, he did not have to write a check for $100,000 in down payment. That capital didn't get trapped under 6 inches of concrete. It stayed entirely liquid. Rick invested that entire $100,000 on day one into a diversified, low-cost index fund. Historically, over any 15-year window in modern economic history, the U.S. stock market has returned an average nominal return of 9% per year. But Rick's secret weapon isn't just his initial down payment, it is his monthly surplus cash flow. Remember, buyer Bill's actual out-of-pocket cost is $3,777. Renter Rick's monthly rent is $2,000. This means every single month, Rick has $1,777 in surplus cash that Bill is forced to sink into mortgage interest, repairs, and property taxes. Rick doesn't use this money to buy a flashy car or go on luxury vacations. Instead, Rick automates his investing. Every single month, he invests that $1,777 difference directly into his index funds. While Bill is dealing with emergency plumbing, rising tax rates, and interest payments, Rick's capital is compounding 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the global economy. Let's fast forward 15 years and look at the final audited scorecard. It is year 15. Let's look at Bill's real estate portfolio first. Over the last 15 years, Bill's suburban home appreciated at a steady standard historical rate of 3.5% per year. His original $500,000 home is now worth a massive $809,347. Bill is ecstatic. He checks his real estate app and thinks, "I made over $300,000 in pure profit." But hold on, let's look at his actual debt. Because Bill was paying down a 30-year amortization schedule, his remaining principal balance after 15 years of steady payments has dropped to $290,236. This means his gross paper home equity is $519,171. But equity in a house is not cash in your pocket. To get that money out, Bill has to sell. Real estate transaction costs are exceptionally high. Between 6% realtor fees, closing costs, transfer taxes, and staging, selling his home costs Bill $48,561. When the dust clears, Bill walks away from the closing table with a net cash payout of $470,550. Look at those numbers. To walk away with $470,550 in cash, Bill had to suffer $634,760 in completely unrecoverable dead costs. Bill spent more money on friction and carrying costs than his entire net real estate wealth was worth. Now let's look at renter Rick. Over 15 years, Rick paid a total of $446,373 in rent, factoring in a standard 3% annual rent inflation. Yes, Rick threw away $446K on rent. But what happened to his investments? Rick's initial $100,000 down payment, combined with his automated monthly surplus contributions of $1,777, which adjusted as rent rose, compounded at a standard 9% average stock return.
After exactly 15 years, renter Rick's stock portfolio is worth $1,021,601. Rick is over $500,000 wealthier than Bill Buyer. And here's the ultimate advantage. Rick's wealth is 100% liquid. If he wants to pivot his life, retire early, or start a business, he can liquidate his portfolio with a single tap on his phone for a transaction cost of exactly zero. Bill's wealth is completely trapped in wood, brick, and mortar. To access even a fraction of it, he has to pay a bank high interest for a home equity loan, or sell his house and pay $50,000 in fees. On paper, renting and investing the difference is the absolute, undisputed king of wealth building. So why does every bank, news network, and family members still scream at you to buy a home? Because of human psychology. The math only works if you actually invest the difference. When Bill bought his house, the bank forced him to save. If Bill didn't pay his mortgage, he would lose his home. That mortgage was a forced savings account. Rick, on the other hand, had no bank forcing him to invest. Every single month, he had to look at his $1,777 cash surplus and have the discipline to invest it rather than spend it on vacations, cars, and luxury meals. The brutal reality is that 99% of renters fail this strategy because they lack the discipline to invest their surplus cash. They pay the unrecoverable cost of rent, but they never build the compounding asset on the other side. So, which path is yours? Use the 4-point decision checklist. First, the 5-year rule. If you plan to move in less than 5 years, rent. High transaction costs will destroy any potential home equity. Second, the price-to-rent ratio. Divide the home's purchase price by its annual rent. If that number is over 20, rent is mathematically superior. If it is under 15, buying is incredibly attractive. Third, your discipline score. Will you actually automate and invest your cash surplus every single month? If the answer is no, buy a house. Forced equity is better than zero equity. And fourth, opportunity cost. Do you have a better use for your capital, like a high-growth business? If yes, renting keeps your capital active and working for you. Stop letting societal expectations dictate your net worth. Run the real math, automate your behavior, and build quiet wealth. If you want to know exactly how to invest your monthly surplus so you can build a portfolio that dwarfs traditional home equity, click on this video right here where we break down the ultimate 2 ETF portfolio. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.